Hello to my fellow history lovers and people that think if I learn something new today, it'll be a great day. So today we have Warren Buffett, George Washington, and the Ken Burns documentary. So this is sort of how this all came into play. I'm on episode 3 of the Ken Burns American Revolution, PBS, loving every minute of it, but I saw there was some criticism that he focused too much on the negative parts of the people and the revolution. And I asked my older son about this. I said, what do you think? And he said, I do remember when I was in 6th grade, I visited Mount Vernon. This was a school trip. I wasn't with him. And he said, I went in thinking, Washington was my hero. And I left thinking, wow, he was a flawed man. And he said, it was honestly kind of heartbreaking as a kid. So there's that idea. So then I said to him, well, do you think for history we should just teach sort of the good stuff? And he said, no, because the purpose of studying history is to say, this is where we were. We always want to improve. And if we falsify the data or, we don't use true data, we can't make good future decisions. All right, that's story number 1. Story number 2, I was giving a talk at a library and there was this really smart girl. She was maybe 5th grade, really, really, really smart. And at some point she was answering all these questions and she did this throwaway line that said, I don't think we ever should have revolted. I think Britain was actually probably a better country. And I thought, oh, wow, wait. At the time of the revolution, 97% of the world lived under monarchies. The freedom we enjoy today, that started there. But I didn't get a chance to talk to her. But it went in the back of my mind, oh, that was, she didn't see the good. She only saw the bad. All right, last part. And then we'll get to in fact, we'll do the Warren Buffett quote here because I thought this was interesting. I was just reading this book. And in the beginning, the author says, as Jack Neufeld wrote about Robert Kennedy, Buffett is not a myth, only a man. And so that goes back to the myth and man of Washington. And I asked one of my old college roommates, I was talking to her on the phone, and I said, what do you think about all this? And she said, I think it's great to know people's flaws, because if you think they're perfect and they do great things, and you know in your heart, all of us know in our hearts we're not perfect, then we don't think we can do great things. But if you know, okay, these are flawed people that do extraordinary things, she said, I think then you think I can do extraordinary things even though I'm flawed. So I guess I just wanted to summarize by saying, the more I read about Warren Buffett, I'm enormously impressed with this man. Yes, he is a man, not a myth. There are no myths. But knowing his flaws makes me even more, honestly, admire him even more for all that he accomplished. And for Ken Burns, I would just say a shout out and how much I think the good of showing a complex picture, any story that makes you think deeper, like think about big issues, to me is the heart of storytelling. And I think that documentary, by showing all the different sides, is very, very, very valuable. So anyway, thanks for letting me share. I'll see you tomorrow.